Good morning, beloveds. It's 70 degrees out there. On Monday, it was 39 degrees. Today,
surprise.
79. Welcome to the weather in South Texas. So, all right. Yes, sugar. It is March 22nd. We are running out of book here. I mean, the book did fall apart, but fortunately, the last day on this particular section is March 31st, which is our last day. So, but yes, March 22nd, Friendly Persuasion. Oh, and check out the size. That's the book I'm doing next. Courage, Conviction, and Consciousness. 365 Days of Inspiration from the Women of New Thought. So, and Cynthia James is did one of the forewords. That's really interesting and cool, because if you don't know who Cynthia James is, one, Google her. She's a fantastic minister, does all kinds of really cool things, has written some really interesting books. And two, she was one of my teachers. So, all right. Oh, no, I need those. The light in here is not that great today. So, okay, March 20, third time's a charm, right? March 22nd, Friendly Persuasion. And the first quote is, "As a person's foes shall be they of their own household." Okay. Matthew 10:36. I kind of have an idea where this is going. "There are no enemies external to our own mind." And that is Science of Mind, page 441. Yep, that's what I thought. Is your own head a safe place to be? In making his observations about a person's foes, Jesus was talking about what many of us experience when we go through great spiritual transformation. There are sometimes those who do not understand what has happened within us and who do not agree with our new way of looking at life. Sometimes members of our family disagree with us, and if there is not a definite breach, what happens is that religion becomes a topic that is never discussed when we are together. We might consider, as Ernest Holmes said, and others have, that our enemies exist only in our individual minds. The kind of thinking we do creates the circumstances that exist in our lives. How often have we heard the remark, "He is his own worst enemy"? This usually refers to someone who is very hard on themselves, someone whose personal demands are stringent, and when there appears to be a failure to meet those demands, that individual refuses to forgive themselves. There are also people who are self-effacing, to the point of denying their good qualities to the extreme. If we have impossible standards set for our own behavior, we might apply them to others and will find it difficult, if not impossible, to love and accept people as they are. If we consistently diminish ourselves, refusing to acknowledge our talents and capabilities in deference of a false humility, we deny that God lives within us, and we cut ourselves off from realizing that magnificent presence. May we make friends within the household of our minds to live the kind of experience that expresses God in the world. In doing so, we can experience our value as God's children, and our human family will see this reflected in our love. I know that the mind of God is my mind. Today, I accept my great worth as God's child. I follow the way of love and forgiveness for myself and everyone. Thank you, God. And that is J.A. Jean Anderson. That's why I started out by saying, is the inside of your mind a safe place to be? And for a long time, mine wasn't. Mine was not a safe place to be. Now, I've done the spiritual work. I've done a lot of spiritual work. And the interesting thing is it's a continuous work. I do continue to do the work. There's no end date on spiritual work, especially that kind of spiritual work, making friends with yourself. And it's definitely work. It took some work. I have been diagnosed with 3 mental illnesses. One of them, seasonal affective disorder. That's literally a hormone disorder. That's one of the reasons why I talk about the sunshine early in your day. That's about making sure that you get the light that helps to reset those hormones, to stimulate those hormones. I've also been diagnosed with clinical anxiety and clinical depression, and probably ADHD, although mostly I'm hyperactive, not ADD. But so it's like, if I told you all of my diagnosis, you're like, how do you walk around as basically a Pollyanna? Well, you know what? Because I've done the work. I have done the work. One of the things that I came to accept is my life is a gift from God. What I do with my life is my gift to God, my gift to Spirit. So, I do acknowledge I was a gifted child. You want to talk about imposter syndrome? I was considered a gifted child growing up. So I was in accelerated classes, and that's wonderful and great until you get out into the world and the world doesn't care that you were a gifted child. And I do have, a number of gifts and talents, and I do try and use them. And and straight up, one of my partner's frustrations with me, and it can be a frustration that other people have with me, is because I make things look easy. Okay. Well, one of the reasons that I make things look easy is because I practice. I practice a lot. And so, I've got that muscle memory. When I was in a class the other day, and that's what I said. I asked one of my students, do you have an example? My student gave an example, and then I turned around and immediately gave a more comprehensive example. And then I said, okay, but let me remind you, I have 18 years of experience doing this. So, while your example was good, that's why mine was better, and why it just popped out of me. It's like, because there's all this information up here, and I never know what I know until the right answer is it's like the right question is asked. And so that's absolutely one of so I've had to do the work. And one of the things that I will frequently do, because I do have this tendency to make things look easy, is I will tell you my shortcomings. Straight up, two of my biggest shortcomings: I can't spell worth a darn. Not even well enough sometimes for autocorrect to tell me what the word is that I'm trying to spell. I still have a Piper dictionary because of that. And I also am awful at geography. I am awful at geography. I couldn't tell you where anything is. I'm good at reading maps. Thankfully, I can read a map. So I can figure it out. But if you ask me where something is, I'm going to be like, what? No, I have no concept of where anything is. But I do that to make myself look a little more human. That's not false humility. It's like, no, these are things that I really just can't do. And I don't beat myself up about those things that I can't do. And I've learned to be gracious with myself when I make a mistake. Okay? When you make a mistake, and we all do, the learning to give yourself that moment of grace when you make a mistake that's what I'm talking about, that my head is a safe place to be. Lately I've been doing things, and people are working around me or on me, and they'll be like, are you okay? Because I'm quiet. Because they're used to people just talking nonsense, but I'm quiet. And they're like, are you going to pass out on me? What's going on here? And I'm like, no, my head is a safe place to be. I'm fine. I think that what happens is when I'm in situations where people are doing stuff to me or around me, it's like I can kind of get into that meditative state of mind, and people just aren't used to that. And that's one of the things that has been very helpful when especially when things get chaotic around me. It's like I can drop into that meditative state of mind. My head is a safe place to be. That's what Gene Anderson is talking about, friendly persuasion. If your head is not a safe place to be, what is it that you need to get there? And mine was, I spent 2 years on an antidepressant. Okay. Mine is, I regularly exercise. I take the vitamins that I need to. I did mention seasonal affect disorder. There are some supplements that help. I make sure that I get that early in my day bright light. I make sure I hydrate. I do what I need to do to take care of this body, to make sure that my mind is functioning and so that my head is a safe place to be. Do I still have moments? Absolutely. Absolutely. But it takes work. It takes work. And it's not necessarily hard work, but it is consistent work. All right. So if your head is not a safe place to be, go and have the conversation with your doctor. Go and engage a therapist. Go and engage a practitioner. Go and engage your friends. Have those conversations with your family. Or if your family is not, then do what a lot of us have done and choose a family of choice. All right. Now, for the most part, my family is wonderful. And, I do, love and care for my family and can have the discussions with my family. But I also have a family of choice, and that is what Creative Life is for me. That is a family of choice. That is a family of like-minded people who understand the work that I have done, understand the work that I am doing, and, they're a safe place for me to engage with others of like mind. It was interesting to go back to my family, them knowing that I had become a minister and being tasked with carrying I don't know what they call it, holding my aunt's memorial. And once that was over, everybody kind of went, that's not the same Lisa that we knew all these years ago. And it was nice to be accepted. They all went, that's not the same Lisa, and we like this version. So, all right. So I do definitely encourage you to take this one and do the work. Do the work. If your standards are too high, give yourself a break. If your standards aren't high enough, give yourself a break and raise your standards. Do the work. Be your own best friend. We talk about self-love, and this is part of it. Make your head a safe place to be. And whatever work you need to do that, know that we're here to help you. Know that we're here to help you. So remember when I do all that social media part where I remind you we are Creative Life Spiritual Center, that our email is info@creativelife.org. Come and take some classes with us. All right. So the mission today, should we choose to accept it? Is this. The mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to accept our great worth as God's child. Follow the way of love and forgiveness for yourself, for ourselves, and for everyone. All right? If we can remember that everyone is a beloved child of God, including us, that's the mission. That's the mission. Make your head a safe place to be. All right? There's a phrase, you'll never talk to anybody as much as you talk to yourself. Listen to your self-talk. My self-talk sent me into therapy one time, and it was a good thing. So, all right. The other one is, you know how I do that spiritual practice of doing something loving for yourself, doing something kind for yourself, doing something compassionate for yourself. That is exactly what this is about. It is absolutely about self-care. It is absolutely about making your head a safe place to be. It is about accepting yourself for who you are and making the changes that you want to. All right? I'm not saying the changes that you need to, the changes that you want to. So, whatever is the most loving, kind, and compassionate thing you can do for yourself every day. And sometimes it is simply taking a deep breath before you speak. And sometimes it's, calling a doctor or calling a therapist. It's still loving, kind, and compassionate for yourself. Take care of yourself. And then I'm going to remind you, it's also about making room for joy. So it's 1, about self-care. 2, it's about joy. Make room for joy. As I said, your life is a special occasion. Make room for joy. So sometimes it looks like eating dessert first. Sometimes it looks like taking a nap. Whatever it is that you need to do to take care of yourself and make your head a friendly place to be. All right. I'm gonna let that one ride because that's what I've talked about the whole time. You deserve your own love. You deserve your own kindness. You deserve your own compassion. Okay. Yes, Gabby. I encourage you to do something to engage your mind and your body. I encourage you to drink plenty of water. Hydration, your brain works better. I do encourage you to get that early in your day bright light. I talk about the science of it. I talk about the circadian rhythm. That's part of the reason why. Okay? With the seasonal affect disorder, that's what I figured out. That early in my day bright light resets those hormones. It stimulates those hormones into their natural pattern, and it helps. So it's called a circadian rhythm. Starts with a C. Feel free to look it up. It's science. And then that's the other reason why I use this quote from Ernest Holmes, why I lean into the quote from Ernest Holmes. Open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around us all the time. Okay? Because heaven is a state of mind. It's a state of consciousness. And when we open the windows of our soul, what we are doing is connecting with the source of our own being. We are using God's mind and recognizing that the soul of us, is the soul of God. This is just the little corner that we've individualized for ourselves. All right? The soul that you have is the most amazing soul out there because it's God's soul. It's Spirit's soul. It's just the individualized part of you. All right? It's the most magnificent soul out there. That's why I'm like, open the windows. Allow that in. Okay. Ugh. And you can always take Emma's advice. Look for the good and praise it. Okay? Moving forward. I'm going to encourage you, let you know that we are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark on the social medias that we are on. I don't know what Foster is talking about because I can hear him. He's looking out the window. I'm going to remind you that Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I am the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. Our email is info@creativelife.org. That way, if you want to know what's going on at the center, there you go. Including I mentioned to come and take some classes with us. That's one way to find out what classes we're teaching. So, and then the website is creativelife.org, and we've got a new feature, the Sunday Talks, will take you to our YouTube channel. All kinds of good stuff on that. So, all right. I don't know which direction to go. So I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonder-filled day, an amazing day, a friendly day, a recognize your gifts day, own your gifts day, take care of yourself day, see that this is a friendly place day, recognize who you are day. That's a beloved child of God, just in case. A good day. And if that's too much pressure, simply have a day. Because you are enough just as you are. You are a beloved child of God. You are a brilliant light. You are a divine spark. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. You are a godling. All right? It's not imposter syndrome. You really are a beloved child of God. It's a state of grace. All right? Nobody can take it away from you. Okay. So, Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around 9 a.m. tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next time.